I'm holding my acceptance letter to Northwestern University, full academic scholarship, early admission to their competitive journalism program, and my parents are in the driveway, putting a giant red bow on a brand new Honda Civic. For my sister, who just got her driver's license, at 19, after failing the test 3 times. My mom sees me standing at the window and waves excitedly. "Come out here! We have a surprise!" I walk outside slowly, acceptance letter still in my hand, thinking maybe I misunderstood. Maybe this is somehow for me. Maybe they're about to say congratulations. "Isn't it perfect?" my dad says, beaming at my sister Stephanie as she screams and jumps up and down. "We know you've been wanting your own car, sweetie." Stephanie throws her arms around both of them. "This is the best day of my life. Thank you." I'm standing there holding proof that I'm going to one of the best universities in the country, full ride, and they're celebrating Stephanie finally passing her driver's test. "That's great," I say. My voice sounds far away. "Congratulations, Steph." My mom finally notices the paper in my hand. "What's that?" "My acceptance letter," I say. "From Northwestern, full scholarship." "Oh," my mom's face brightens. "That's wonderful, honey. We'll celebrate later. Right now, we're doing Stephanie's car reveal. We've been planning this for weeks. Weeks. They'd been planning Stephanie's car surprise for weeks. The same weeks I'd been checking my email obsessively, waiting to hear if I'd gotten into my dream school. I went back inside, closed my bedroom door, and made a decision that would change everything. My name is Natalie. I'm 18 years old, and I just got accepted to Northwestern University on a full academic scholarship after 4 years of straight A's, AP classes, debate team, newspaper editor, and volunteer work that totaled over 300 hours. My sister Stephanie is 19, failed senior year and had to repeat it, works part-time at a nail salon, and just got a $23,000 car for passing her driver's test on the 4th try. And this isn't an anomaly. This is the pattern. This is exactly who my parents are and exactly who they've always been. Let me take you back, because that moment in the driveway, that car with the red bow, it was just the most visible representation of 18 years of being second place in a family that only had room for one winner. Stephanie is 16 months older than me. We're Irish twins, they call it, though we couldn't be more different. Stephanie struggled with everything: school, sports, friends, basic life skills. I excelled at everything I touched. But in my family, struggle got attention, and excellence got ignored. When we were kids, Stephanie had trouble reading. My parents hired tutors, bought special books, spent hours every night helping her sound out words. I taught myself to read at 4 years old. Nobody noticed until my kindergarten teacher called home concerned that I was too advanced for the curriculum. "That's nice," my mom had said. "Stephanie's really making progress with her reading too." Stephanie got praise for improvement. I got silence for achievement. In middle school, Stephanie barely passed her classes. My parents attended every parent-teacher conference, fought for extra credit opportunities, paid for private tutoring in multiple subjects. I made honor roll every semester. My parents went to one conference in 3 years, and that was only because Stephanie's was on the same day. High school was when the disparity became impossible to ignore. Stephanie struggled academically, socially, emotionally. Everything was hard for her. My parents responded by lowering expectations and increasing support. She got C's and D's. They celebrated when she pulled up to a B-. She quit 3 sports in 2 years because she wasn't feeling it. They paid the registration fees for all of them without complaint. She had friendship drama constantly. My parents would spend hours talking her through it, buying her things to cheer her up, letting her skip school when she was too stressed. I maintained a 4.2 GPA while taking the hardest classes offered. I was editor of the school newspaper, captain of the debate team, president of the volunteer club. I got into National Honor Society. I won a regional journalism award. My parents came to one debate tournament in 4 years, 0 newspaper events. They didn't attend my NHS induction ceremony because Stephanie had a bad day and needed them home. "You're so independent," my mom would say. "We never have to worry about you. We don't have to pay attention to you." The financial disparity was even worse. Stephanie crashed her mom's car junior year, texting while driving. My parents bought her a newer, safer car. When I asked if I could have the old car once I got my license, they said they'd already donated it. Stephanie wanted to go to cosmetology school after barely graduating high school. The program cost $18,000. My parents paid for all of it up front. She went for 6 months and quit because it was too much standing. I applied to colleges with the understanding that I was on my own financially. My parents had spent their college savings on Stephanie's cosmetology school that she quit. They told me I was smart enough to get scholarships, so I did. I applied to 12 schools. I got into 10. I got scholarship offers from 8. I chose Northwestern because it was the best journalism program in the country, and they offered me a full academic scholarship, tuition, room, board, books, everything. It was the result of 4 years of relentless work, of sacrificing social life and sleep and teenage fun to build a resume that would get me out of this house and into a future I built myself. And the day I got my acceptance letter, my parents bought Stephanie a car. That night, after Stephanie had driven her new car around the neighborhood 6 times and posted 40 photos on Instagram, my parents ordered pizza to celebrate. "This is such a great day," my mom said, scrolling through Stephanie's photos. "Our baby has her own car." "And Natalie got into Northwestern," my dad added, almost as an afterthought. "On a full scholarship. That's really impressive, honey." "Thanks," I said. "Where's Northwestern?" Stephanie asked. "Chicago area," I said. "That's far," my mom said, frowning. "Are you sure you want to go that far away? It's one of the best journalism schools in the country, but there are good schools closer to home," my dad said. "What about state? You could commute, save money on housing." I stared at him. "I have a full scholarship. Housing is included." "Still," my mom said, "it seems unnecessary to go so far when there are perfectly good options here." Stephanie was barely paying attention, scrolling through more comments on her car photos. "This is so cool. Madison said she's jealous." "You deserve it, sweetheart," my dad said to her. "You worked so hard for that license. 4 tries to pass a basic driving test, got a new car, and endless praise. 4 years of perfect grades and a full scholarship to a prestigious university got concerns about distance." I went to my room and did something I'd been avoiding because it felt petty and small and like something I shouldn't need. I called my Aunt Laura, my mom's sister. Aunt Laura had always been different. She saw things clearly. She'd commented before on how my parents treated Stephanie and me differently, but she'd learned to keep quiet because my mom got defensive. "Natalie?" she answered. "Everything okay?" "I got into Northwestern," I said. "Full scholarship." "What? That's incredible! Congratulations! When did you find out?" "This morning. I just got the letter. And let me guess, your parents aren't celebrating properly." I started crying. "They bought Stephanie a car. Today. A brand new car. For passing her driver's test. They've been planning it for weeks, and they never mentioned it." "Oh, honey," Aunt Laura said softly. "I'm so sorry. They want me to go to state and commute instead of Northwestern because Chicago is too far." "Of course they do," she said, and I could hear anger in her voice. "Because if you leave, who's going to be the responsible one while they focus on Stephanie. That thought hadn't occurred to me, but she was right. I did everything at home. I cooked meals when my parents were too stressed, dealing with Stephanie's latest crisis. I kept the house organized. I handled things without being asked, because asking meant interrupting whatever Stephanie needed. I'm going to Northwestern, I said. I don't care what they want. Good, Aunt Laura said firmly. You absolutely should go. You earned it. And Natalie, I'm proud of you. So incredibly proud. I cried harder because I couldn't remember the last time anyone in my family had said they were proud of me. Listen, Aunt Laura continued, I want to do something. I know your scholarship covers tuition and housing, but you'll need spending money, books, a laptop, things like that. I'd like to help. Aunt Laura, you don't have to. I want to. I've watched your parents ignore your achievements for 18 years. I'm not going to do the same. You're an incredible young woman, and you deserve support. Real support, not just words. She sent me $3,000 to help me start college, to buy what I needed, to have a cushion for emergencies. I cried again, but different tears. Grateful tears. My parents' reaction when I told them I was definitely attending Northwestern was predictable. It's so far, my mom said. You'll be all alone there, my dad added. Maybe Stephanie could go with you, my mom suggested. She could get a job there. You could be roommates. No, I said firmly. I'm going alone. This is my achievement, my scholarship, my future. My mom looked hurt. We're just trying to help. We worry about you. You've never worried about me before, I said. I've been managing myself since middle school. I'll be fine. The months before college were tense. My parents kept suggesting I reconsider. Stephanie kept asking if she could come visit all the time because Chicago seemed fun. I kept packing, planning, preparing to leave. Aunt Laura helped me shop for dorm supplies. She took me to lunch and let me talk about everything I was excited for. She bought me a new laptop for school. She treated my college acceptance like the achievement it was. My parents attended Stephanie's nail salon's employee appreciation night and came home with stories about how wonderful Stephanie was at her job. They didn't ask about my college prep once. 2 weeks before I was supposed to leave, my mom sat me down. Your father and I have been talking, she said. We're concerned about you going so far away, especially when you don't have to. We think it would be better if you stayed local. I have a full scholarship to Northwestern, I said slowly. Why would I turn that down? You could get scholarships closer to home too, she argued. And think about Stephanie. She's going to miss you so much. Stephanie will be fine, I said. She needs you here. You're her sister. And there it was, the real reason. They needed me to stay because I was useful. I kept the house running. I was the safety net when Stephanie fell apart. I was the responsible one who never caused problems. I'm going to Northwestern, I said. This conversation is over. My mom's face hardened. Fine, but don't expect us to help you if you're going to be selfish about this. I've never expected you to help me, I said quietly. You've made it very clear where your priorities are. I left for Northwestern on a Saturday in late August. Aunt Laura drove me. My parents said they couldn't take the day off work. Stephanie was sleeping in. She'd been out late the night before. I loaded my car, Aunt Laura's old car that she'd given me because she was buying a new one, with everything I owned that mattered. Clothes, books, my laptop, supplies for my dorm room. As we pulled away, I looked back at the house. I'd lived there for 18 years, and I felt nothing but relief to be leaving. Northwestern was everything I'd hoped for and more. The journalism program was rigorous and exciting. My professors were accomplished and encouraging. My classmates were brilliant and driven. I made friends quickly, people who actually cared about my achievements, who celebrated my successes, who saw me. I called home once a week because it seemed like the thing to do. The conversations were brief and superficial. How are classes? Fine. How's the weather? Cold. How's Stephanie? Great. She got promoted at the salon. Always Stephanie. Always her achievements, her life, her updates. I learned to keep my own news to myself. Thanksgiving, I didn't go home. I told my parents I had too much work, which was partially true. Mostly, I didn't want to spend 4 days being invisible while Stephanie got all the attention. Aunt Laura came to visit me instead. We had Thanksgiving dinner at a restaurant near campus. She asked about my classes, my articles for the school paper, my professors. She listened to every word, asked follow-up questions, treated me like I mattered. Your parents called me, she said over dessert. They said you've been distant. I call every week, I said. They meant emotionally distant. They're hurt that you didn't come home for Thanksgiving. I set down my fork. Did they mention why I might feel distant? Did they mention the car they bought Stephanie the day I got my acceptance letter? Did they mention trying to convince me not to come here? I brought up the car, Aunt Laura said. Your mother said I was making too big a deal out of it, that Stephanie needed a car and you didn't. I needed support, I said. I needed them to be proud of me. I needed them to celebrate my achievement instead of acting like it was an inconvenience. I know, sweetheart. They're wrong. They've always been wrong about how they treat you two. I told her about my classes, about a story I'd written that my professor had praised, about an internship I was applying for. She listened to all of it, proud and engaged. Before she left, she handed me an envelope. What's this? I asked. Just a little something for the semester, for books or food or whatever you need. Inside was a check for $1,000. Aunt Laura, this is too much. It's not nearly enough, she said. But it's what I can do. Your parents should be helping you. Since they're not, I will. I hugged her tight. Thank you for everything, for seeing me. You're easy to see, she said. You're remarkable. Don't ever forget that. Christmas break, I went home because Aunt Laura convinced me that completely cutting off my parents wasn't healthy. They're flawed people, she said, but they're still your parents. Give them a chance to do better. I arrived home to find Stephanie's car in the driveway with a new dent in the front bumper. What happened to the car? I asked. Oh, Stephanie had a little accident, my mom said dismissively. Hit a mailbox, but she's fine. That's what matters. Is the car okay? We're getting it fixed next week. Insurance is covering most of it. Stephanie appeared from upstairs. Nat, you're home! Oh my God, I have so much to tell you. She proceeded to talk for 2 hours straight about her life. Work drama, friend drama, relationship drama. I sat there, half listening, jet-lagged, and wondering why I'd come home. My parents asked me exactly 3 questions about college over the 5 days I was there. Are you keeping your grades up? Made any friends? When are you coming home for good? That last question came from my dad on Christmas Day. I'm not, I said. After graduation, I'll be looking for jobs in Chicago or New York, wherever the best journalism opportunities are. But we thought you'd come back here, my mom said. Get a job at the local paper, live at home for a while, save money. Why would I do that? I asked. I'm going to one of the best journalism schools in the country. I'm not going to throw that away to work at a local paper. There's nothing wrong with the local paper, my dad said, defensive. There's nothing wrong with having bigger ambitions either, I shot back. You've always been so focused on yourself, my mom said. Stephanie would never just abandon her family like this. Stephanie has never had to, I said quietly. Everything she's ever needed has been handed to her, including a car, on my achievement day. My mom's face tightened. We've discussed this. That was coincidence. The car had been planned for weeks. Exactly, I said. You spent weeks planning her gift, but couldn't be bothered to celebrate my full scholarship to Northwestern. We said congratulations, my dad said. You said it was too far away and I should go to state instead. The rest of Christmas break was tense. I left 2 days early, claiming I had work to do for next semester. Really, I just couldn't stand being in that house anymore, watching my parents dote on Stephanie while treating me like an afterthought. I threw myself into work. I joined the investigative journalism team. I started working on longer-form pieces. I applied for competitive summer internships. In March, I got an email that changed everything. I'd been selected for a prestigious summer internship at a major newspaper in New York. Paid, competitive, the kind of opportunity that could launch a career. I called Aunt Laura first. "That's incredible!" she screamed. "Oh my God, Natalie, this is huge!" "I know," I said, grinning so wide my face hurt. "I can't believe it." "I'm so proud of you. When do you start?" "End of May. It's 3 months. Runs through August. This is going to be amazing for you. Have you told your parents?" "Not yet," I admitted. "I'm working up to it." "They should be thrilled," she said. But we both knew they wouldn't be. I called my parents that night. Put it on speaker so I wouldn't lose my nerve. "Hi, honey," my mom answered. "Everything okay?" "Yeah, I just wanted to tell you some news. I got a summer internship in New York at a major newspaper. It's really competitive. They only take 10 interns nationwide." "Oh," my mom said. "That's nice. But what about coming home for the summer? We were hoping you'd be here, maybe get a summer job locally." "This is better than any local job," I said. "This is a career opportunity." "But New York is so far," my dad chimed in. "And expensive. How are you going to afford it?" "It's paid," I said. $15 an hour plus housing stipend. "Still seems risky," my mom said. "What if it doesn't work out?" I felt something inside me crack. Why would it not work out? "Why are you assuming I'll fail?" "We're not assuming that," my dad said quickly. "We're just concerned. You're so young to be in a city like New York." "I'm 19, I said. "The same age Stephanie was when you bought her a car for passing a driver's test." Silence. "That's different," my mom said finally. "How?" I demanded. "How is buying Stephanie a $23,000 car for a basic life skill different from supporting my career opportunity at a prestigious newspaper?" "You don't need our support," my dad said. "You just said it's paid." "I need you to be proud of me," I said. My voice cracked. "Just once, I need you to be excited about something I've achieved instead of pointing out the problems. We are proud." "No, you're not," I interrupted. "You've never been proud. Or if you are, you've never shown it. Every achievement I've ever had has been met with concern, or dismissal, or redirection to Stephanie. I got into Northwestern on a full scholarship, and you bought her a car. I got a competitive internship, and you're worried about the logistics." "Natalie, you're being dramatic," my mom said. "I'm being honest," I said. "For the first time in my life, I'm being completely honest about how you've made me feel, my entire life." I hung up, turned off my phone, and cried for an hour. The next day, Aunt Laura called my dorm room. "Your mom called me," she said. "She's upset." "Good," I said. She should be. She says you accused them of favoritism. I stated facts, I corrected. They bought Stephanie a car on my Northwestern acceptance day. That's not accusation, that's observation. Aunt Laura sighed. You're right. You know you're right. I'm not calling to tell you otherwise. I'm calling to tell you that I'm proud of you. That internship is incredible, and you earned it. Thank you, I whispered. And I want to help you with New York, she continued. I know the stipend will cover basics, but cities are expensive. I want to make sure you have enough to actually enjoy the summer, not just survive it. You've already given me so much. And I'll give more, she said firmly, because that's what family does. Real family. They support your dreams. They celebrate your success. They help you reach your potential. She sent me $5,000 for the summer. $5,000 so I could focus on my internship without worrying about money. So I could say yes to opportunities, so I could build my career. My parents sent nothing. Not money, not congratulations, not even another phone call. The internship in New York was transformative. I worked on real stories, learned from experienced journalists, built connections that would matter for my career. I got a byline in the paper. I impressed my editors. And at the end of summer, they offered me a job. A real, full-time position starting after graduation. $45,000 a year with benefits and a path to advancement. I called Aunt Laura, sobbing with joy. She booked a flight to New York immediately and took me to dinner to celebrate. This is it, I said. This is everything I've worked for. You did this, she said. All of it. Your hard work, your talent, your determination. This is all you. I called my parents from Aunt Laura's hotel room, her sitting beside me for support. I got a job offer, I said when my mom answered. From the paper where I've been interning. Full-time position starting after graduation. In New York? My mom asked. Yes, in New York. So you're really not coming home? No, I said. I'm not. I'm building my career here. I heard her sigh. Well, I suppose if that's what you want. We were hoping you'd be closer, but you've always been independent. Independent. That word again. The word they used to justify me. How's Stephanie? I asked, because I knew that's where the conversation would go anyway. Oh, she's good. My mom's voice brightened immediately. She's been promoted to assistant manager at the salon, and she's dating someone new. He seems really nice. That's great, I said automatically. We're so proud of her. My dad added. He'd picked up the other line. She's really finding her way. They were so proud of her for getting promoted at a nail salon, but my job offer at a major newspaper, something I'd worked toward for years, got an, I suppose if that's what you want. I have to go, I said. Lots to do before I head back to school. After I hung up, Aunt Laura looked at me. You okay? Yeah, I said. And surprisingly, I was. I stopped expecting them to change. This is who they are. But it doesn't matter anymore, because I have you. And I have this opportunity, and I have a future I built myself. That's my girl, she said, squeezing my hand. Senior year at Northwestern flew by. I took my hardest classes, worked on my senior thesis, prepared for my move to New York. I went home for Christmas, but only stayed 3 days. I didn't go home for spring break. My parents called occasionally, but we had little to say to each other. They'd update me on Stephanie's life. I'd give minimal information about mine. The calls got shorter and less frequent. Aunt Laura came to my graduation, flew in from across the country, stayed for the whole weekend, cheered louder than anyone when I walked across the stage. My parents didn't come. Stephanie had a salon event that weekend and needed their support. I'd expected it. Almost. Part of me had held out hope that maybe, just maybe, they'd show up for this one thing. But they didn't. Aunt Laura saw the disappointment on my face, even though I tried to hide it. "Their loss," she said firmly. "They're missing out on an incredible young woman. That's on them, not you." After graduation, I moved to New York, started my job, found an apartment with 2 roommates, began my adult life in a city that felt more like home than the house I'd grown up in ever had. 6 months into my job, I wrote an investigative piece that got picked up nationally. It was about financial fraud in small businesses. Months of research, interviews, document review. It ran on the front page and got significant attention. I won an award for it, a Regional Journalism Award for investigative reporting. At 22, I was the youngest person to win in the category. The award ceremony was in Washington, D.C. I invited Aunt Laura. She flew out immediately, proud as could be. I didn't tell my parents about it. What was the point? But someone else did. A family friend saw the article, saw the award announcement, posted about it on Facebook congratulating me. My parents saw it. My mom called. "We saw that you won an award," she said. "For journalism." "Yes," I said shortly. "Why didn't you tell us?" "Why would I?" I asked. "You've never cared about my achievements before. You didn't even come to my college graduation." "That's not fair," my mom said. "Stephanie needed us that weekend." "Stephanie always needs you," I interrupted. "For everything. For basic life tasks that she should be able to handle at 23 years old. And you always choose her." So I stopped telling you about my life because I got tired of it not mattering. "Of course it matters," my dad chimed in. "You're our daughter. Then act like it," I said. "Show up. Be proud. Celebrate my achievements the way you celebrate Stephanie's. Treat me like I matter as much as she does." "We do." "No, you don't," I said. "And I have proof." Over the next hour, I laid it all out for them. Every disparity I could remember. The car versus the acceptance letter. The financial support for Stephanie versus the loans for me. The attention, the celebration, the basic acknowledgement of existence. I'd been documenting it mentally for years. Now I gave them the full accounting. When I finished, there was a long silence. "We didn't realize," my mom said finally, her voice small. "Yes, you did," I said. "You just didn't care. Or you cared more about Stephanie than about being fair. She needed more help." "Everyone needs help," I said. "I needed help too. I needed parents who showed up, who celebrated me, who supported my dreams instead of questioning them. I built everything I have despite you, not because of you. And I'm done pretending that's okay." Another silence. Then my dad. "What do you want from us?" "Nothing," I said. "I don't want anything from you anymore. I just wanted you to know that I see what you did. I understand who you are. And I'm choosing to build my life without you in it." "You're cutting us off?" My mom's voice broke. "I'm protecting myself," I corrected, "from parents who will always choose my sister over me, who will always minimize my achievements, who couldn't even be bothered to come to my college graduation." Stephanie needed to learn to manage without you," I interrupted. "But let her. You've infantilized her to the point where she's 23 and can't handle a single weekend without parental support. You've done her no favors, and you've done me nothing but harm." I hung up, blocked their numbers, and felt a weight lift that I didn't even know I'd been carrying. Aunt Laura took me to dinner that night. I told her everything. "I'm proud of you," she said, "for standing up for yourself, for demanding to be valued." Was I too harsh? I asked. No, she said firmly. You were honest. Finally. They needed to hear it. I don't think they'll change. Probably not, she agreed. But now they know. They can't pretend anymore. They can't claim they didn't know how you felt. That was 2 years ago. I'm 24 now. Still in New York, still at the paper, promoted twice. I'm doing work I love, building a career I'm proud of, surrounded by people who actually value me. Aunt Laura and I talk every week. She visits often. She's walked me through career decisions, relationship dramas, life challenges. She's been more of a parent than my actual parents ever were. I haven't spoken to my parents since that phone call. They've tried reaching out through other family members. Aunt Laura says they ask about me, claim they want to reconcile. But they haven't apologized. They haven't acknowledged what they did. They've just expressed hurt that I cut them off, like they're the victims in this story. Stephanie reached out once, through email, said she didn't understand why I was being so dramatic, that Mom and Dad love us both, that I was tearing the family apart over nothing. I didn't respond. What would I say? That her entire life has been built on parental favoritism she refuses to acknowledge? That she got a car on my achievement day and still doesn't see why that was hurtful? She's not the villain in this story, but she's not innocent either. She benefited from the disparity and never questioned it. Last month, I won another award, a National Journalism Award for a series I'd worked on all year. Big deal, career-changing. Aunt Laura flew to New York for the ceremony, sat front row, cheered when I went on stage, cried during my acceptance speech. My parents weren't there. I didn't invite them, didn't tell them it was happening. They found out anyway. It was publicized. My mom sent me a text. Congratulations on the award. We're very proud. I deleted it. Because very proud doesn't mean anything when it comes 2 years late and only after public recognition forced them to acknowledge me. Very proud doesn't erase 18 years of favoritism. Very proud doesn't make up for missing my college graduation or questioning my internship or buying my sister a car on my Northwestern acceptance day. People sometimes ask if I regret cutting them off, if I miss having parents. The answer is complicated. I miss having the parents I wish I'd had. I miss the idea of parental support and unconditional love. But I don't miss my actual parents because they never gave me those things anyway. What I gained by walking away was peace. Freedom from constantly seeking approval I'd never receive. Freedom from minimizing my achievements to Stephanie's seem bigger. Freedom from the hope that maybe this time they'd choose me. And I gained clarity about what family really means. It's not just blood. It's choosing to show up. It's celebrating success. It's offering support. It's seeing someone fully and loving them anyway. Aunt Laura is my family. My friends in New York are my family. My mentors at work are my family. These are the people who've invested in me, believed in me, celebrated me. My parents had 18 years to be family to me. They chose Stephanie instead, over and over and over. I turned the tables on them, not with revenge or vindictiveness, but with something simpler and more powerful. I chose myself. I chose my career, my future, my peace. I chose to surround myself with people who actually value me, and I stopped giving them the power to make me feel worthless. That's the lesson here. You can't force people to see your value. You can't earn love that's conditional on being less successful than your sibling. You can't make parents who've decided you're the easy one suddenly realize you need support too. But you can choose differently. You can choose to invest in relationships with people who do see you. You can choose to celebrate your own achievements when others won't. You can choose to walk away from toxicity, even when it's wrapped in the word family. My parents gave my sister a car on my college acceptance day. They chose her over me for 18 years. They missed every important moment because they were busy handling Stephanie's latest crisis. So I turned the tables by building a life so successful, so fulfilling, so completely mine that their approval stopped mattering. I won. Not because I hurt them or made them suffer, but because I refused to let their neglect define me. Because I proved that I could thrive without them. Because I surrounded myself with real family, the kind that shows up, that celebrates, that cares. And that's the best revenge of all. Living well, succeeding spectacularly, being genuinely happy without them. They can keep their favoritism, and their excuses, and their inability to see what they lost. I have a career I love, people who love me, and a future that's entirely my own. I turn the tables by building a table they're not invited to sit at anymore. And honestly, that table is better without them.